In the middle of the open ocean, a modern floating city moves peacefully across calm water.
On board, thousands of passengers enjoy what appears to be a perfectly ordinary evening at sea.
Weather reports show no storms, no warnings, and no signs of danger within hundreds of kilometers. Inside the ship, life continues normally, untouched by the vast emptiness surrounding them. The sea is unusually calm, almost mirror-like, reflecting the last light of the day.
On the bridge, routine navigation checks confirm stable conditions and predictable currents.
All systems report normal. Engines steady. Course locked. Stabilizers active.
But far beneath the surface, deep ocean currents are beginning to shift. At nearly 900 meters down, a subtle rotational pattern starts to appear. Sonar briefly detects an unusual circular disturbance deep beneath the vessel. At first, it seems insignificant. A minor deep-water eddy, nothing more. Yet the rotation does not fade. It grows, slowly organizing into a defined spiral. Above the surface, nothing appears different. The ship continues forward without hesitation.
Passengers admire the quiet horizon, unaware of the energy building beneath them.
On the bridge, drift readings begin fluctuating beyond expected limits.
The captain notices the change, small but persistent, resisting normal correction.
Below, the rotating current expands outward, forming a larger circular structure.
At the surface, faint curvature appears in the reflections of the ship's lights.
Even contained water on board begins to shift in subtle circular motion.
The sonar image sharpens, revealing a deepening void at the spiral's center.
Far ahead, the ocean surface begins forming a shallow depression, barely visible.
The crew senses something unusual, though no official alarm has been triggered.
As darkness falls, the ocean's surface begins rotating in wider, clearer arcs. What begins as a minor anomaly is now forming into something vast, organized, and dangerously powerful. As night deepens, the ship begins a subtle course adjustment to counter the unusual current.
Navigation systems show increasing lateral drift, despite calm wind and stable weather.
Autopilot applies correction after correction, yet the ship continues sliding sideways. Beneath the hull, the rotating current grows wider and more organized.
Inside, passengers notice only a faint vibration passing through the decks. Small objects begin shifting, subtle signs of uneven force acting on the vessel. The circular anomaly now measures several kilometers across. At the surface, reflections begin curving into visible arcs around the vessel.
Engine output increases as the captain orders additional thrust.
Propellers fight unstable water flow as turbulence grows beneath them.
The captain reduces speed briefly, then increases power to test resistance.
Drift rate rises to 5 knots, confirming a powerful lateral pull.
Despite forward motion, the vessel begins curving into a slow, widening arc. The rotating structure extends upward through multiple ocean layers.
Even onboard pool water rotates gently in a synchronized circular pattern.
Crew increase presence on deck, maintaining calm while preparing for contingency.
Ahead, the sea surface begins forming a shallow bowl shape.
The captain studies the horizon, recognizing the pattern is no longer random. Drift increases again, now approaching 7 knots toward the rotating center. Below, the deep spiral has fully formed, pushing its energy upward. The rotating column now connects ocean floor depths to the surface above.
The whirlpool forms completely, surrounding the ship in a rotating basin of water.
Structural sensors detect rising torsion as the hull resists uneven pressure.
The vessel is now fully inside the outer rotation of the expanding whirlpool.
Navigation data confirms the ship is being pulled inward at increasing speed.
Even maximum thrust struggles to counter the growing rotational force.
Beneath the surface, the rotating column accelerates as pressure intensifies.
The ocean no longer flows past the ship in straight lines, but in spiraling arcs.
Inside, gravity shifts subtly as the deck angle continues rising.
Engine systems operate at near maximum output, fighting unstable water resistance.
Propeller cavitation increases, reducing effective forward thrust.
The central basin deepens visibly, forming a descending funnel.
Even contained water on board mirrors the rotation below.
A rotating surge impacts the hull with controlled but powerful force. Furniture now slides openly across decks as tilt increases.
Stability systems approach critical compensation levels.
The vortex column now stretches thousands of meters toward the ocean floor. Each rotation pulls the vessel closer to the deepening throat.
Mechanical strain escalates as engines push against collapsing currents.
The captain orders sustained thrust and controlled counter-rotation.
The ship attempts to angle outward, resisting the inward spiral. Water flow becomes chaotic near the hull as suction increases.
Passengers struggle upward as lower decks begin flooding from impact waves.
The outer ring produces a towering, rotating surge.
Inward drift surpasses 11 knots, overwhelming propulsion capacity.
Propeller efficiency declines as cavitation spreads. The hull crosses into a zone of intensified downward suction.
The bow crosses into the inner throat of the whirlpool.
Inside, Gravity shifts dramatically as the vessel tilts beyond control.
The hull is pulled into rapidly descending rotational flow.
Critical alarms activate as structural strain exceeds design tolerance.
Rotating surges sweep across exposed decks without resistance.
Engine systems approach thermal and mechanical failure.
As the bow sinks, the stern lifts sharply into the night sky.
Passengers struggle to climb against an angle now nearing collapse threshold.
The funnel below grows darker as water plunges downward.
Lifeboats detach and are instantly swallowed by the rotating sea.
From the bridge, the captain watches the vessel enter irreversible descent.
A rotating wall of water towers above the sinking forward section. Interior supports buckle as torsional forces twist the frame. Propellers spin in unstable currents, losing effective thrust.
One engine fails, followed quickly by the second.
The vessel now tilts past 40 degrees, approaching structural failure. Seawater floods lower decks at uncontrollable speed.
The hull begins to fracture under combined torsion and suction.
The cruise liner slides further into the spiraling throat.
Primary power fails, switching to emergency backup systems.
The bow disappears beneath the rotating surface completely.
Everything unsecured is dragged toward the descending section.
The stern rises dramatically as the forward hull submerges. Steel beams twist beyond tolerance under crushing stress.
Flooding reaches critical machinery, eliminating propulsion entirely.
The ship reaches near vertical orientation within the rotating basin.
Bridge crew hold position as the vessel enters final descent. The stern begins following the bow into the vortex core.
Under extreme torsion, the hull splits near its center. The forward section breaks free and descends rapidly into darkness. Interior decks collapse under combined water weight and pressure. Fragments of structure spiral downward into the deepening core.
The remaining stern lingers briefly before gravity prevails.
The stern crashes into the funnel and disappears beneath rotating water.
Broken sections descend thousands of meters toward the abyss.
At the surface, the vortex continues its powerful rotation.
Debris circulates along the outer edge of the system.
Gradually, the rotational intensity begins to decrease.
The vertical column narrows as inward flow slows. The ocean begins leveling itself, leaving only scattered wreckage behind.
Where the ship once stood, only debris now drifts across the dark ocean.
Fragments of steel and personal belongings circle quietly in fading rotation. Survivors cling to floating wreckage, surrounded by vast open water. Life jackets and scattered objects mark the scale of the disaster. Below the surface, heavy sections descend silently toward the seabed. The Whirlpool loses strength, its massive energy gradually dissipating.
As hours pass, the first hint of dawn approaches the horizon.
Survivors remain in shock, conserving energy in the cold night sea.
The debris field spreads across kilometers of open ocean.
Twisted steel continues its descent into crushing darkness below.
The ocean surface appears calm once more, as if untouched.
Adrift in silence, survivors scan the horizon for any sign of rescue.
Dawn reveals the full extent of the floating wreckage.
Rescue aircraft begin arriving at the final transmitted coordinates.
Rescue teams deploy swimmers to reach those still afloat.
One by one, survivors are lifted from the cold sea. Nearby vessels divert course to assist in recovery operations.
Beneath the calm surface, wreckage settles toward the ocean floor. Those rescued sit in silence, processing what they witnessed. By morning, the ocean appears deceptively peaceful again. Fragments of the vessel's identity drift quietly across the water. Deep-sea sonar begins mapping the ocean floor below. Sonar confirms major wreckage resting thousands of meters down.
Submersible cameras capture images of the broken hull.
Steel structures lie twisted under immense pressure.
Surface vessels continue coordinated recovery operations.
Medical teams assess survivors for hypothermia and shock.
The scale of the open ocean dwarfs even the largest ships.
From above, nothing suggests the violence that occurred hours earlier.
The ocean regains its stillness with unsettling speed.
A remotely operated vehicle descends toward the wreck site.
The vortex appears to have intensified rapidly within a short window.
Rotational velocity increased exponentially once vertical alignment formed.
Gravity and mass combine to sustain the descending water column. Today, the surface shows no visible trace of the violent system.
Experts describe the phenomenon as extremely rare, but physically possible.
The ocean floor beneath the site drops into a vast abyssal plain.
Debris is scattered across kilometers of seabed terrain.
Analysis reconstructs the step-by-step formation of the whirlpool. New detection systems are proposed to monitor deep rotational shifts. To the human eye, the sea often appears calm and predictable. Yet below, layered currents can collide with tremendous hidden force. Deep probes gather pressure and flow data at multiple depths.
When converging currents align vertically, a spiral may intensify rapidly.
Beyond the wreck, darkness stretches endlessly in every direction.
Above, the sea continues its slow and endless motion.
Maritime agencies update predictive models based on the event. Future vessels may benefit from enhanced deep current monitoring systems. Reconstructed tracking shows the vessel entering the vortex's outer rotation. Each orbit reduced escape probability until propulsion was overwhelmed.
Combined torsion and suction exceeded engineered tolerances.
Researchers conclude the event was a convergence of rare variables.
Ironically, the sea now resembles the calm evening before the disaster.
The ocean remains vast, indifferent, and largely unexplored.
Its beauty often conceals immense underlying power. Beneath the surface, motion continues beyond human awareness.
Weeks later, the ocean looks exactly as it did before. Under the stars, the surface once again appears perfectly calm.
In the abyss, pressure and silence dominate everything.
Steel structures settle quietly into sediment over time.
The scale of the ocean dwarfs even humanity's largest engineering achievements.
When currents align in rare combinations, motion can intensify rapidly. To future travelers, this place will seem no different than any other. Its power does not announce itself with noise.
Destruction does not always arrive with visible storms.
Sometimes, the sea simply rearranges its internal balance.
On another evening, another ship may pass beneath the same sky.
Passengers may again admire a mirror-like surface. And far below, currents will continue their silent motion.
Human technology can measure much, but not everything. Advanced systems reduce risk, yet uncertainty remains.
The abyss holds forces shaped by gravity and mass.
The sea is not hostile, but it is indifferent. Indifference is what makes it both beautiful and dangerous.
Calmness is not the absence of power. It is simply motion, waiting for alignment.
In the open ocean, scale alone commands respect.
Even small shifts can amplify across vast distances. When energy concentrates vertically, rotation can sustain itself.
And anything within that rotation becomes part of its motion.
The remnants remind us of vulnerability.
Steel yields eventually to pressure and time.
The ocean closes over events with remarkable speed.
From above, it appears unchanged.
Below, the evidence rests beyond ordinary reach.
Silence returns to the coordinates.
Motion spreads outward long after impact.
In darkness, pressure and time complete the process.
Above, moonlight offers no hint of the abyss. The ocean remains vast, beyond comprehension.
Beneath calm surfaces, unseen forces persist.
Power does not always announce itself loudly. And sometimes it arrives without warning.
In the open ocean, preparation is the only defense.
Because when gravity and motion align, resistance fades.
The sea remains calm above, while its greatest forces move quietly below.